Hello everybody, I'm EJ, this is Non-Compete, welcome back, and let me first apologize for not having uploaded anything in quite some time. If you're interested in knowing why, there's a free video over on our Patreon free tier, where we'll be posting hopefully more videos with behind the scenes stuff, and we're hoping to ramp out a lot more content over on our free Patreon as well as our camaraderie. We appreciate everybody who supports us. Anyway, the reason I wanted to make this video, and I don't really have any production equipment, I'm just here with my laptop, but I wanted to say how excited I am to be seeing the anti-genocide protests popping up all across the USA and now around the world. I haven't been this hopeful. I mean, it's strange to say this, but since the uprising in 2020, I know that those were pretty tense and difficult times for everybody. There was a lot of horrible state repression at the time, but I also saw a lot of people standing up for what was right, and we're seeing that again now. So I really just wanted to send a message out to any of you watching this who might be students, who might be participating in the encampments and the protests, and to say you are a part of history right now. Comrade Luna, my wonderful life partner, said it best, I think, when she said that what's happening right now is a direct continuation of, yes, what happened in 2020, but also the civil rights era protests and marches and uprisings of the 1960s and 70s and the Vietnam War era protests. We know that much similar occupations of campus buildings happened in the late 60s in places like Columbia University. And yeah, you're a part of history, and you're part of a multi-generational project to liberate the working class from imperialism and capitalism and racism, Zionism, fascism, and all these other ideological constructs that are so dangerous. And I don't want to say anything in this video that would imply that I know better than you about what to do or how to lead your movement. I have been very impressed with the way that the students have been leading the movement so far based on what I've seen. I just want to give my encouragement and my support and say thank you for once again standing up for humanity. What's happening in Palestine, we know, is completely horrific. And in future generations, people will look back at this moment and they'll see what you're doing as heroic, brave, incredible. And they'll look at the atrocities as some of the, worst horrors that humanity has ever committed against humanity. I guess if I had any words of wisdom, it would be to say, don't look at your struggle as metaphysically distinct from past struggles or from other struggles going on around the world. A lot of you students who are protesting right now, I know, because I was a college student too, a white college student, come from positions and backgrounds of privilege. And this might be the first time you've ever faced state repression or massive, sophisticated misinformation campaigns that lie and slander you. But there are comrades out there with you who come from Black and indigenous and colonized backgrounds who've been dealing with this for generations. That's why I want to tell everybody to go check out my partner Luna Oi's channel. She's a Vietnamese communist, and she talks about, I especially encourage you to look up her videos that talk about misinformation campaigns about Vietnam. Because I went through COVID, for instance, in Vietnam, and witnessed firsthand, living there through that whole situation, the way that the media would lie and lie and lie about Vietnam day in and day out. They would say one thing was happening, and I'd look out my window and see something completely different happening. So to people like Luna, who grew up under imperialist oppression, she grew up during severe embargoes, and she's watched lies and slander and misinformation be spread about her and her comrades in Vietnam every day of her life for the past 30 plus years. For those people, they have a lot of experience dealing with this, whereas people who look like me, maybe we don't have as much experience. So we should really be listening to our Black and indigenous and imperialized and colonized comrades right now for leadership and guidance and wisdom. And I encourage you to do that, not just with Luna, of course, but with all of our indigenous and Black comrades and people around the world who have been facing these struggles for a long, long time. It's been a while since there's been a real student uprising in the USA, and a lot of the cultural wisdom and knowledge and, craft abilities and that sort of thing were lost over the decades through the severe repression of the state. A lot of the comrades who were leading the charge back in the 60s and 70s during the Vietnam War and the Civil Rights era have been locked up or had their lives ended by the state. So let's look back to history, and learn from comrades who struggled in the past, but let's also look to our comrades around the world today who have a lot more experience dealing with these sorts of situations. And I guess the last thing that I want to say, I'm trying to make this a brief video, is that what we're going through right now, what you're going through right now, is what I have been calling the crucible of communism. And if you don't know, the framework that I've adopted, Luna and I and Grant, the Slopstash, all the folks here at Non-Compete, what we've adopted is the framework of dialectical materialism. And this philosophy upholds that all things are connected, all things affect one another, all of our struggles are related to one another. And I think that there's a dialectical relationship between, I would say, strength and weakness that expresses itself materially in our world as adversity. And when I say strength, I'm talking about people standing up for humanity, fighting against capitalist imperialism. And when I say weakness, I talk about the worst aspects of human society in our capitalist class society era. And there I'm talking about fascism and neoliberalism and all these other brutal forms of subjugation, Zionism included. Talking about political Zionism, of course, which should not be conflated with Jewishness. And we have many, many, many wonderful Jewish comrades in the movement. And, my heart goes out to you. I know a lot of you are being accused of being, traitors to Judaism and that sort of thing. I can't imagine what that's like to go through that. But anyway, I just want to make it clear that, I cherish our Jewish comrades who are standing up and fighting against the genocide, along with our Palestinian comrades and everybody else out there. But anyway, what I'm saying is what's happening right now is horrible and it's difficult, but it's a process of elimination of these terrible traits which have been ingrained into us by bourgeois society. When the fascists do horrible things or try to suppress our movement or attack protesters who are only trying to end genocide through peaceful protests, what they're doing is giving us the opportunity to confront these evils, which we know exist in our society, and to face them head on and over time negate them. And I believe that fascism will fail, liberalism will fail, capitalism will fail. And I believe that over time, this movement has strengthened itself, gotten more focused, and will continue to do so. And it's this adversity that sharpens us, hones us, and makes us more able to fight oppression around the world. There's the old saying, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. I don't think that's always true, but I think there's truth in it. And I think if you have kind of a dialectical analysis of it, you see that what the fascists are doing is going to lead to failure on their part. And what we're doing is only making us stronger. So just once again, thank you for what you're doing. I hope that what I just said makes some sense. The main point is that you are making humanity stronger. You are uniting people around the world. You're uniting the working class, and the contradictions are sharpening over time. The bourgeois media is lying every single day, but I think the effectiveness of those lies is wearing thinner and thinner, and you especially see that with the younger generation. I'm about 40 years old now, and a lot of you out there in the encampments are half my age or less, and you give me hope. As I'm starting to move towards middle and older age, I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing out there. So thank you for what you're doing. Keep it up. I hope that we can support you and spread the word as well as we can through our channel. But really, it's not people like me sitting behind cameras that are going to change the world. It's people like you who are out in the streets, on the campuses, on the front lines against fascism, I'm going to try to see if I can visit some of the encampments at some point. Hopefully they'll keep sustaining long enough for me to do that, but whether I get out there or not, this is your time, and you get to decide how to move the global struggle against capitalist imperialism, colonialism, and fascism forward. This is your time to fight, and I believe in you. So thank you for what you're doing. Please be safe. Solidarity. And we'll see you next time. I'm EJ. This is Not Compete. Take care of each other.